Right across your face.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand or something. Aye. Okay, motion carries. If you're amenable, I'd like to go next to the discussion of a potential new member. We've had 3 people shown interest in that. Rachel Pride sent me a letter yesterday. Hello, John. I'm afraid my energy and enthusiasm has depleted. My husband passed away in July, and as is often the case, after the initial shock, one experiences a rush of feeling to get out of there. I indeed followed that course for a time. Since then, I have been laden with paperwork. The bottom line is that I won't be able to phone you. Perhaps when all this slows down, I'll have time to follow. I'm grateful for your activity on Mansfield involvement some months. Sincerely, Rachel Fleischer. Our other candidate was Nancy Moriarty, who has a conflict with the time. So she has a class at the community center at 10 o'clock. So, Caesar, if you would introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Hello up there in Zoom. My name is Caesar Spagnuolo. Just moved here recently back in May of last year. And I was living in Middletown, Connecticut for the past 6 years. And before that, I was in Woodstock for 30 years. Semi-retired, still working full-time. Practice architecture. Don asked me, and Joanne was very nice to suggest me, and I said I would consider it. And sure, I would love to help. You have to accept me. I'm a no-nonsense guy. If you need that, fine. You insult me. I would support you 100%. Good job. Any questions?
Do you have any questions for the committee?
Well, I read your charge, copied that, and I think it's great. And you know, if I did the old minute and what you have done. How long has it been?
Decades.
Doesn't matter. When was it?
We had a lot of people, older people.
Decades.
Probably 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Have you accomplished anything?
Yeah.
That's what's important. So it's good to continue on, and I would love to be a part of it.
I want to say something. He runs his own company, been involved in a lot of committees. He's an architect and would be a plus insight of what we're trying to do with our center and questions for these committees that are doing our evaluation. Am I correct?
I didn't get that last sentence. What was that about? I help to what?
I'm sorry.
I help to what? I would be a help to what?
Up to us, up to this committee, because
The committees that are evaluating.
no one has experience with like this group we have that's evaluating.
You're talking about the consulting firms for the town that they've hired to do a facility study.
Facility studies for the
All the buildings.
seniors.
All the buildings. Yeah.
What other buildings would there be?
Town hall is very old as well.
Why would we be at all even consider?
The public is being.
So you're looking at this committee as a representation of seniors throughout this area?
That's what we do. Exactly.
That's your role here. Yeah.
And does the town even care?
Yes,
I think so.
we have
Yeah.
we have input in this. We're talking about senior housing.
Oh, when it comes to senior housing.
And about the senior center where we want to go.
And that, but I
see in it.
wouldn't know how the town hall.
They wanted us to be a part of the town hall reconstruction. There are a lot of reconstruction. Yeah.
Oh, what's your
Laura Austin.
Caesar? That's a meet you.
The senior center being part of town hall would be one of the options they're evaluating, as opposed to a freestanding unit.
I didn't understand that either. I apologize.
They're considering having the senior center incorporated with the town hall, as opposed to a standalone senior center, which is what we think we would prefer at this point, more or less.
So the town hall, the new town hall to be the physical plan to be accommodation of.
To be part of the new town hall.
I really don't want to do that.
Well, it's more the community center, right? I think that's the plan. But it's right, it'd be right there, next to town hall. But they're taking a look at this facility and the town hall as well, because that also is very limited. We have limited storage, limited office spaces over there. So they're just taking a look at all town facilities and what's the future of these facilities.
Thinking of how the senior center and the community center might relate to each other as far as activities, facilities, and would or would that not be a good idea? One of the drawbacks on any of these, of course, is parking.
Oh, sure.
So they're looking at a lot of.
I think so. I don't know if you remember, but a month and a half ago, I sent you an email. This person's name. Talked to the other day. She said she had a very, so I'd be very interested in hearing. Apparently, your email. I think you gave me that in November. I sent you an email with all of the information. Sorry, a bunch of yes. Okay.
No questions?
I was very disappointed to get your email, but you still agreed to do this event anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I did send that email out, and I wanted to obviously do it randomly, so I wasn't announcing it here because I really want folks, just joining us and not me leaving. But as I said in the email, just due to personal reasons and thinking that a 40-minute commute would work, it has not. It's been very challenging for my kids in particular. So I'm going to take a position back in summers as a school social worker and be on my kids' schedule and have summers off with them, just bring some balance back to my life. So I've greatly enjoyed my time here at Mansfield. My position is posted, so I think I hope that they find qualified candidate. They are keeping, it requires an LMSW, so a master's level social worker, ideally with municipal experience. So really, that narrows it down to somebody who's currently doing this work in another community that they can kind of entice to come over like they did with me. So Fingers crossed. As far as the department goes, I just want to give a shout out to the staff over here at the senior center. They have just done an amazing job of holding it down and really keeping things moving with Mary out, with Sarah Taylor's position being vacant for several months. It's been really, really challenging over here. I hope that for the most part, it's been behind the scenes, so that the public haven't seen it necessarily. But we've been short-staffed. My team on the other side has stepped up, come over, worked the desk over here. And so I think I'm really hopeful that we're moving towards a much more stable place over here with all of our positions filled. Priyanka is settling into her role as a program assistant and learning the ropes. And obviously, Kristen keeps things moving right along in the kitchen despite being down the kitchen assistant. So I just really, really appreciate all of them. And as far as human services goes, really nothing major other than, we're doing the elderly tax credit applications right now. So we're getting a lot of calls for those. We'll be opening up for renters rebate in about a month and a half. So April 1st, we start those applications all over again. And we're wrapping up energy assistance season. So just a reminder to folks, if they have thresholds, make sure to get in and see us before March 15th.
Done so much anymore.
With that, though, I do want to, welcome Jess. This is hour 2. Not quite. So, obviously, she's not going to have much of an update, but just an opportunity for her to introduce herself to you all and welcome her to Senior Center.
This may be an initiation of no hazing.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So I don't know how much anybody knows about my background, but I was the recreation supervisor for health and fitness over at the community center for the past 16 years. So I am familiar with many faces that have actually already come in this morning, town policies, procedures, things like that. And less so obviously with this facility, but just pretty quickly. So thank you.
I've heard nice things about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, program right? What is your role here?
The senior center supervisor.
Yeah. So she replaced Sarah Taylor. So now, all positions minus the kitchen assistant is vacant still, and then which is posted. We actually received a lot of applications, but no one really qualified. We had like a couple candidates that we're hoping to bring in for interviews, but the amount of applications, we have more to select from. But and then obviously Mary is out, and Peggy McCarthy will be here on Mondays helping with programming. So she was a former adult librarian, and so she has a ton of experience. Yeah, she jumped right in. So she's awesome. So I'm assuming she's over there now.
She is.
I haven't seen her yet, but great. So she'll hopefully, Mary did a great job of kind of planning us out through the end of March. But really we already start to plan April and May even now. So Peggy's gonna just kind of help with some of that stuff more into the future. And actually to that note, I should mention, so Leslie McDonough, we're just bringing everybody back from the library, is going to be the interim director on the human services side. So immediately, so my last day is this Thursday, but Leslie will be here starting the following week just to provide kind of that administrative oversight. So she's not really getting into like day-to-day kind of stuff, but more, making sure that all of our invoices are processed, that payroll signed off on, any personnel issues or concerns, approving time off, all that kind of stuff. We'll have somebody in my role to help just with the transition staff.
I would like to thank you for involving me in the interview process.
Yes, good.
Allison emailed me and asked if I could meet the candidates, get to know them a little bit, show them around the building. And my 2 cents. Be grateful to be involved.
Thank you for participating.
Okay. WRTD representative, as you know, Will resigned. Mary was trying to look into taking that slot, didn't really work out. So we're left without any representative to WRTD.
Can I say something about that? I don't know if you all heard, there's gonna be some changes in the city bus coming March. I don't know the details. I'm hoping they're gonna send something to the staff at Governor Village, let us know. I understand they're gonna change the times, the routes. I don't know what yet. So hopefully you guys will get something as well. So as soon as I hear something, or whoever hears something will let each other know.
Is the sense that they're going to be reducing?
I think they're reducing. Okay. I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
I don't know date, no times, or routes, or yeah.
Okay.
That's hoping to do something. So someone said beginning of March. I've been hearing in the middle of March. So I don't know that. Keeping the eye for that.
And the town did appoint a representative. So we have 2 spots, my understanding, on the board for the town of Mansfield, and we did appoint, I want to say it's First Express. Right? I don't know him. But so we do have him representing the town of Mansfield. So in an absence of somebody from this committee, a thought could be that you could send even occasional updates or routine updates to him about concerns that we were hearing from seniors, so that he's just more knowledgeable when he goes into the meetings, so that your voice is still being represented, even if it's not from somebody directly from this committee.
Who is that?
I'll have to get his name.
Can you email that?
Yeah. Because I was involved. I saw some of the emails going back and forth. Hey, when did you resign? November? Yeah, I think it was around that time.
If you could get it to Laura, if we have minutes.
Okay, sure.
Figure out. To you, we're specifically representing Bushland Age consumers. No. Okay, so if he's representing the town, we don't really need a representative from. You were doing a dual role.
Yeah. As long as we can get in touch with him, he's more than willing to give us a report, meeting,
right,
something like that. That would be beneficial.
Why don't we invite him to the next meeting?
Absolutely.
You want to invite him to the next meeting? If we can get his name, we can invite him to the next meeting and know what we're all about, and we can figure out how to get in contact.
Okay, you have that down? So. No. Okay. Housing updates. Well, anything else?
It's so
Well,
it's not me anymore.
There's not a lot going on except right next door to me, where they're getting ready to put in yet another brand new Shannon double wide, which means there's going to be one on either side. I don't know how many. I had intended to get an update from Ellen to current events, but she's been working from home and under the weather, so I wasn't able to do that. So I'm not going to be real helpful today, other than the fact that they're looking ahead to spring, and of course, the sign is still up. New homes available now. Come see us. As I say, they're real active. They've had forklifts and diggers and all kinds of nonsense going on next door, which is good because that tenant or homeowner was evicted. Thank goodness. At any rate, business as usual at Rolling Hills. They are going to have today from 12 to 1 in the clubhouse. Some of you have probably seen or heard about the town pop-ups in various communities. They're going to be popping up at Rolling Hills today. So that's about it.
What happens at a pop-up? What is that?
Oh, some of the town representatives are popping up.
It's political.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know whether it's political. Supposedly, the intent is to collect opinions as far as the direction of the town, as far as any aspect of where the town is going here in the future. People's opinions, comments, remarks will be gathered. So it's not necessarily.
Planning and zoning has been doing this. And the planning and development. Looked it up last time. They're slightly different.
Yeah.
That sounds like that.
I was going to take a look at it this morning, but I interrupted as to if there was information as to who it was going to be or what department. But the purpose was for collecting comments and opinions, suggestions, etc., for the direction of the town in the future.
They had that northern part of town, northern district. Did anybody see that they were doing that downtown story?
So they're going all over the
Right, but that's not my part. I can say about tired.
I know. Okay.
Speech.
Yes. Harry.
You big folks. Have it. That's not it. It's just that these are the folks.
Well, while you're looking,
Yeah, go ahead.
that beeping noise, maybe, I forgot to mention, so they are finally pouring the slab for what will be the generator and then the walk-in cooler. So that should be hopefully, making some progress there. So, and that's also why the toolbox, I guess, that huge thing, I don't know if it's like a dumpster, but it's a couple parking spots. It's all the toolbox. I don't know what's in it, but a lot of tools. But that's what all that activity is back there.
That's okay. Sorry, folks. Okay, I want to apologize for not being here in December, but and of course you did not in January, but here I am. Caesar, I live in Juniper Hill Village, so I represent that facility up there for this committee. And let's see now. One thing that we started doing, and I'm really excited about this, is genealogy. I know you guys have it down here. So we've had 2 sessions already. We got another one coming February 23rd. And then we have the students from UConn help assisting us. So once, I want to do this, once I get the ball rolling, students will be coming to help me, because we have computer lab, help me online, and then suggestions, like gonna go to like historical society or the town hall, wherever I gotta go to get both sides of the family. So I haven't told my family yet, and I got a big family. So I just want to see how this is gonna pan out before I say anything to them. So see what happens. We have UConn again. We have students from UConn that come Monday through Friday on different activities that the program director Eileen plans for us.
So they've been great, coming every day, morning and afternoon, just to participate in whatever's going on. We have UConn nutrition program, on Tuesday, March 20th. You're very popular this morning. I'm just going to walk your phone. For a heart health program presented by our UConn Nutrition Service students. So they will be coming on March 20th. Again, technology report. John and Paul from the Mansfield Public Library. Well, actually, they were, we already had this, but I'll say it anyway. Came on February 9th and 10th. Anything people need assistance in learning how to use a computer. So they've been very helpful with that. Energy assistance, you had mentioned, Allison. And I just mentioned about WRTD, the routes, changing of the routes of the city bus. I don't think it's going to affect Dollaride, but again, once I find out something, or you guys find out something, we'll let each other know. There's been free COVID tests were given out a couple of months ago. So they told us if we want another, if we need one, just go to the office and get one. We were supposed to have a meeting. Susan, who's our yeah, hello, I got a brain freeze here. Administrator, thank you. And Louise, who's the assistant administrator, have been going to several meetings on HUD. So there are going to be some changes. We were supposed to have a meeting, but we were told that HUD and Susan's boss don't have all the information yet. So we didn't have a meeting yet with us to let us know what's going on. So I don't know if you guys have heard anything down here.
The only, I have a very limited understanding of what is happening, but you probably know better than me. I've heard that because when Juniper Hill was either built or maybe the type of funding you had at one point, it is essentially like the time limit was 30 years or something that they had to offer the units at a certain rate, and now that's done, right? So that's my understanding, and so it opens them up to I guess charge more.
Yes, the bottom line is what they were doing for the last 30 years. My understanding is that they were not looking at your larger accounts as they were only looking at the interest from those accounts. Oh, wow. And now they're going to look at the overall amount of money you have in accounts. So a few people, I'm not sure, will most probably be paying the fair market value to the victim, which is really still a bargain because they don't pay for electricity and it's rolled into your That's well.
Do you have a timeline for it? Like, is it like a July 1st or no? Yeah,
I think someone told me what they're doing is when you have your recertification.
Yeah.
When people
that's right.
Their
Yeah,
recertification. They're talking about the
there'll be a truck coming in April. Anybody has a shredding out in the back parking lot. So you have
for everyone.
Yeah, for anybody, yeah. All of us that live there, right? We had a craft fair at the Mansfield Community Center back in December. People had donated one or two items. People who had made a craft item. We did pretty good. We don't do tag sales anymore because of COVID, put a watch on that. And our population now is an older population, 80s and 90s. So we have a lot of folks that are homebound or just don't have the ability to do what needs to be done to pull all this together. We don't want to put this all on our program director. So we just decided to not do that anymore. So anywhere in town, like community center or uptown, when they have something in the spring or the fall, we can rent a table, do something like that. we are in the process of our residents group meeting. We meet every month, and March is we're going to be electing new officers because these officers now have taken on an extra year. There's no one. I came forward and I think another person, but we're trying to get other people to come forward so they can go on to other things that they want to do. Like I said, they took on an extra year just to keep our residents group going. So there's that. We'll make sure everything is done. Oh yeah, here's one thing. On Monday, well, there we have this. I'll say it again anyway. On Monday, February 5th, and Monday, February 26th, we have UConn Alpha Phi Omega coming. They did come, they're coming again, and they're going to do like Wii games. Have that set up in the Four Seasons room. We've done bowling, which I've done, so a lot of fun. So again, we had different 2 groups come. This is one of them. I forgot the name of the other one. Again, coming Monday through Friday, different activities. Have them done. Wednesday, no, Saturday, I'm sorry. Saturday from 1 to 2, they just came. We did a game afternoon, 1 to 2, we have refreshments. And Saturdays, they do 2 to 4. Again, it's just an afternoon of doing whatever games they want to do, and refreshments are provided. So they're really great helping Eileen, our program director, with to be with us. So it's been great. It's been good. Thank you, John.
Questions for Mary? Okay. I think I'm going to take items B and C under old business. What we had proposed, excuse me, what we had proposed was the town, state, or what have you, requires that 15% of new development housing be designated affordable housing. And what this committee has suggested is that of that 15%, 15% be reserved for seniors. And so we sent a letter to the chair of the Planning and Zoning Committee. We also copied the Affordable Housing Committee and the Town Council. It wasn't all that long ago, certainly time enough to respond. And the only response I got back was from the mayor, who said, interesting idea, but clearly not enough. Let's keep looking for a way to achieve this. Which is sort of, I think it's the right way to say, go away.
We're being recorded, but okay. John,
You're not welcome.
on that question, that was one of the questions I was thinking of raising this afternoon of the pop-up, if you will, as to exactly where does that 15%, if they're doing in lieu of, where do those dollars go? Did we ever get an answer to that?
Oh yeah, there's really is.
Yeah,
It's not going to shut.
in lieu payments are into
I know you did.
Okay, which the Port Authority Committee is in charge of improving going, so that if somebody wants to build something, they can come to us with plans, and if we like them, we can give them money to build as long as it's affordable. Okay, so yeah, that's money that's coming to us. From what I understand, the fee in lieu is just about dead. They don't. We've been shortchanged by both of these people that gave us money. Right now, we're looking at about $4 million that we have. In today's day and age, $4 million is nothing. So
Right now, our big thing is just trying to move forward with it, trying to move the planning authority to get more age restricted housing, so on and so forth.
Do we have,
Right.
sorry, go ahead.
No,
Do we have any traction to our request that you change the language to read age-related affordable?
no, it's age restricted.
Age
Affordable
restricted,
age restricted housing, that's the actual terminology that we got them to use. Affordable housing, uses that rather than senior housing.
So we did accomplish something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we accomplished a lot.
We'll keep advocating what we're, one of the things we're advocating for in the Affordable Housing Commission behind is because this fee in lieu for for developers is just a shot in the butt. They don't care because they're going to make up that money with fair market value apartments in a couple of years. Of course. So what we want them to do is to ask for a larger fee in lieu, number one, and still try and get our housing. I'm sorry, we never wrote that, but anyway, so we'll just keep advocating. That's what we have to do. We have to be out there, no matter wherever they come to talk to, coming up to Rolling Hills. We need to be active and loud and let them know that we're not happy. That's.
I'll see what I can do. I don't even know who I'm going to be talking to. So.
Well, it seems like from the meetings I've been to, I don't know. It seems like people are complacent, thinking that seniors in this town have enough, and we don't have enough. People have moved up.
Do we have an update on how things are going around this corner right here?
Of the green project there,
Eagleville
Green project.
Whatever the name is.
It's called Eagleville Green.
Yep.
And you want to talk?
The building.
Yeah, they're building it. It'll be more affordable housing.
It's called workforce housing.
Yeah.
When they first,
right.
When they first proposed it, and it is akin, I believe, to right way, which is for it's not really.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Right. It's not.
It's section 8. It's section 8.
It's section 8.
That's all that's going to go in here. Section 8. And they are going to have some market rate units in there.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's mixed.
And I think they're going to.
It might be full.
I think 3/4 of it, I guess, is affordable.
I'm Googling it. 42 unit mixed income development. Yeah. Quiet, family friendly complex with close proximity to amenities. For everybody.
Yep.
I thought I heard at our last meeting that was senior.
No.
I heard wrong.
No.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom ones.
And I applaud the town for, because there are people who work
We need that too.
2 and 3 jobs and they can't have decent housing. So
Because families are being pushed out just as
yes.
seniors are because there's nothing affordable for our families there. Really challenging.
The whole country needs it. This is one.
And you have it worse here though, you really do, because of the market value of your properties because of decline.
Yes.
And then they can rent bedrooms in a home, and so I'm preaching to the choir, developers are buying up your houses and renting them out to students. And so it's really, we see it all the time on, the family side of our work. If a lease, if the rent goes up, the family can't find something equivalent in town and end up. Which is why we also need our fair rent commission. So we still need a tenant. Anybody who's renting, you still need a tenant to make that. So we had 2 interested, and I don't think either one has shown up for the community interview. So we're back to everybody else is appointed, but anybody at Juniper Hill or Right Village or anybody renting in town in any way qualifies to contact.
Did we answer the mayor?
I think I would leave it go with this.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not enough report to council. Not reporting. How they went up to the council where so the council well knows how we feel. Okay, and you know, the problem, I don't think that would be right at this time. Let's just wait and see.
Stay involved.
Let's see what they come back. At this point.
Who's the planning and zoning? I think she's my neighbor. The planning and zoning person. I think she's my neighbor.
No.
Well, Jennifer Kaufman is the director of planning and development.
Right, that's not.
That would be the town department. I don't know who chairs planning.
Cheers, what are you?
Planning. I don't know who the chair of planning and zoning.
Okay.
Okay. Gonna kind of sneak this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
project like meeting. Want to just read that to everybody. As it was proposed at last meeting that we send out a letter on behalf of Mary to recognize some of her accomplishments. So here's the letter.
So I guess we add this to old business.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to, because we talked about it at the class.
Right.
So this was a letter, that we said everyone was in agreement to do. And it's, to the Juniper Hill Village Residents Group. I have copies of it on it. People there. To whom it may concern, the members of the Mansfield Commission on Aging would like to acknowledge the work that Maria Tardo, policy representative for the Juniper Hill Residents Group, has accomplished. Mary keeps the commission informed about the many good things that happen at Juniper Hill Village. She's an advocate for the elderly and persons with disability. Thank you, Maria Tardo, signed by the members.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a real pleasure doing this. I've been doing this for a long time. I've served on other boards, and when I saw this opportunity come up, just to be part of the community, and I'm glad to do this for where I live and for you. So thank you for that letter. I really appreciate it.
And I will send it to the Secretary, David Palmer, the Secretary of the President.
Okay. So I'll take that as a consensus. And Martina's going to actually see that it gets out and done.
It's done.
Okay. The first item there, what actions should the Commission on Aging take regarding the Mansfield Senior Center? I'm not sure you know, Caesar, whether the history, but this building has been deemed inadequate for a long, long time. In terms of revisions, the structure won't permit a second floor. The surrounding area won't permit expanding to the sides. The facilities research or report indicated this building as one that was destined to be a high expense to maintain, and especially if we needed to do anything with the HVAC system, it would cost astronomical to maintain the building. it has been included in the last plan for future work, that some sort of replacement for this building. The proposals, big question about where do you put it? The last proposal that went to the town council, part of the report, was that they consider that parcel on the corner where the town hall is and the community center, and either put it next to the community center as part of an additional multi-story town hall building, or I think there was a proposed location off in front of the community center, freestanding. Right now, essentially nothing's happening. So wait until the budget comes due or whatever. What I was thinking is what we could do in the interim is be prepared to request certain specific things in a new senior center. Just one example, the commission, CDC recommends at least 4 air changes per hour. Now that's not part of code. So if the council says build a senior center, it would have to meet code, but it doesn't have to be 4 air changes. And I'm wondering if we can sort of document that one and see what else we can find that are things that we feel are highly desirable but aren't necessarily in code, even with disabilities compliance. And then the town council would have that to include in specifications for a new senior center. But would it just be spinning our wheels, or
master planning? So master planning is always good.
Okay.
Period.
It wouldn't be the first time we've been spinning our wheels, but why not?
We still are.
I mean, what else have we got to do in the interim?
You don't want to spin your wheels. You want to target
No, but we
what
might
you're
as
going to
well make some noise.
We targeted, but they never.
If it turns out that we're spinning our wheels, so be it, but we need to be making more noise.
So it's interesting. You target it, but no one listens.
Oh, it's still all in the planning, so we have to, you just have to keep going at it. And when an architect is picked, they don't have an architect. We need to be there and say, these are the things that we need, these are the things that we want. And we just have to keep being the thorn on everyone's side.
We just have to make sure that when they pick the architect, they're
Right,
involved in picking the architect.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Sarah Taylor went to a seminar where they were recommending architects who had specific experience with senior development, buildings for senior, where they could incorporate things that would make it easier to move around and all sorts of things. And she left the famous book in the front office that Sarah left to be looked through. We've done all kinds of things to promote getting senior specific architect ideas to no avail so far.
But we have to continue, say to no avail. Yeah. It's a whole process. We probably will not get a senior center until a couple of years from now.
And I'm going to say the same thing I say at every single meeting. We don't make enough noise.
We are making noise. That's the thing. We go to committees, we sit on committees, we go to meetings. We are making noise.
But obviously it's not enough. Well, or not the right kind or the right place.
He's going to make noise.
I think Martina's correct, though, it's in process. So
right. And we're part of that process.
These pop-ups, these focus groups, it's all about facilities. Right. And from everybody I speak to over powers that be, say the senior center is the number one thing, yes, it has to go to referendum. They're trying to tee this up to go to referendum during the presidential election. Why? Because you get the biggest voter turnout. So it's very critical that they continue to garner feedback. Like they just did a little focus group thing with just me and Katie Bell. So my youth services supervisor. What are your limitations for human services? What do you see as your limitations for the senior center? Mary was invited to that. It would have been Sarah Taylor had she still been here, but it was like for my team to get feedback to them. So that was literally last week. So they're going to your place, they're getting information, so if you look at they have a very page, which is maybe what Laura you went to, and it has the timeline, and you're in the planning phase of the timeline. It is to hopefully come up with, hopefully the conclusion is, and yes, you're right, we're not there yet. The conclusion hopefully is yes, down in Mansfield, we want to look at doing a new senior center. This is roughly how much it's going to cost, and it goes on the ballot in November. That is the hope.
But you're already too late.
Too late for what?
For what?
What you just said.
To get on the referendum for November?
What it's going to cost.
What do you mean?
Said you have to find out what it's going to cost.
An estimate, yep. Right, so that you all can vote on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Too late.
I'm not involved in the process. Whether it's too late, I don't know, but
well,
that is their timeline.
That's their time.
That's their time. I'm just speaking to what their timeline is.
And then there are costs.
Well, you don't have to have an idea, but we know what the current costs are for senior center.
And you have a lot of development happening, and so with all that development comes tax revenue, right? So as much as some folks don't love these big buildings that are getting put in, it's going to generate a lot of tax revenue for the town of Mansfield. That tax revenue is going to help fund the new senior center. So, it's the give and take with all of this that's happening in your community. But the reality is that the stuff at Four Corners is going to make a lot of money for the town of Mansfield. So, yes, it's going to be all student housing. Yes, it's not going to be affordable, but it's going to bring in a ton of tax revenue to the community, which will afford the town to do all of these years. So,
and there are people on the town council who are on our side and who are advocating for us, so we're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people out there who are advocating for this. And
give them a chance.
Just keep going to meetings. Every time a meeting pops up, you need to go to a meeting. And you need to have your voice. I mean, you'll get tired of it, but you need to be out there. We're out there. You gotta go. Sometimes you have to go at night. You're tired, but we're out there.
So let me understand this. It sounds stupid. You just said the town wants to build a senior center. You say that?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the problem?
They're garnering feedback from the community. I mean, that they're going through a process. They hired a consultant. I mean, I think that they would never, the town council, I don't want to speak for them, but I think in general, town councils are not going to make unilateral decisions. They want to show, look, we had pop-ups here, we did this focus group, that focus group, and this was the consensus down in Mansfield, and that's how we arrived in this decision
for what, man?
to build a new senior center.
You just told me that they already decided to build a new senior center.
The town council, yes, is supportive of building a new senior center.
Supported.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't want to.
And it will be
the town council, but certainly everything I've heard is that which is why they're going through this process, but they have to do their due diligence. If they believe and want a new senior center, but then they interview all the seniors in our community and all of them are like, no, we're good. Well, then they go a different direction. But obviously that's not what they've been hearing. So, and it's a consulting firm that they've hired that is doing all these focus groups.
They're doing all of these focus groups all over town, but it's not just for a senior center, it's for other kinds of housing in town. So that's what the focus groups are doing, and you just have to go to the focus groups. We've been going to the focus groups.
So what's the conclusion so far?
I'm sorry?
What's the conclusion so far?
The conclusion so far is that in November, we should be on the ballot. That's what
it should be.
It will be. It will be.
It will be
That's
on
what
the
they're
ballot.
saying,
And when it's on the ballot, it has to say, who's doing that? I'm asking, don't take it
So-
personal.
Because we don't have an
Not us.
architect.
I'm not directly
I'm not,
involved. I
I'm
apologize.
asking
I'm not.
the whole group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be the town, what's up their plans. Decide that,
planning and development is leading this. So certainly Jennifer Kaufman would be the best person to ask those like very specific questions too. And then the
But you must
consulting
have
firm.
asked, so
Say again?
we must have asked these questions prior to. Yeah, Joanne saying yes.
Yeah, and they've all been, many of the folks around the table have been involved in the focus groups. We posted focus groups here at the senior center even last summer. This has been going on since I've been here. It's over a year.
15 years.
But now we have these consultants. Those are newer to the process. They started last summer.
You understand what I'm saying, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well,
I think it does. If you, I will send out the link where it really lays out all of this on the town website, Mansfield
You guys
tomorrow.
must have seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on there it must say, hey, they hired so-and-so to come up with
Yes,
An
civic
approximate-
brand.
Civic grant,
Yeah.
civic
Yeah.
grant.
of the approximate cost.
Yep, and there is an architectural firm involved as well. They're out of Hartford.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
So what's the next step? Go on to the
That
next
we
comment.
have to make sure all that is together and
The immediate next step is to keep going to those meetings, those focus groups, those pop-ups, and keep our voices out. That's what you have to do. You can't be silent, just have to go.
Would you agree that you also have to know what the process is and making sure it's getting done?
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said.
Are
Don't
you
you
talking about
also,
the town, or are you talking about, I'm making sure the town does that? Yeah, yeah.
so you're all set. You're all set, right? And I'm only after you ask me, like John starting to refer, saying this is great, you're doing it, you're on top of it, and it's gonna show up on the referendum with a price, and that's all you need,
That's
right?
what we need. So everybody needs to get out to vote. And get your younger people to vote for it. So I've talked to my granddaughter. Oh, yes.
did we ever totally find out many senior? And when we tried to get that number, did we ever find out the number?
No,
I think they've made some changes in the processing of the census data. So it may be a little more possible than it was a
I
year
was
and a half
told
ago.
they couldn't do it when I checked into it.
Right,
That was a while ago. But like you said, they made some.
and I think they may have massaged the figures over different pieces that it might be possible.
Give the number of seniors here. I'm gonna have it, because the state allocated that ARPA funding to each senior center is based on your senior census data. I think on the spreadsheet that they gave to me, it has our number. So, cause everybody got like different, we got $33,000 allocated to town management, and that was because based on our senior population, that's how much the state gave us, so. I think it's on there.
Could you send that out?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can do that today.
Let me come back to my thoughts in terms of getting some tangible specifications. Because I fear that if we just let them go through and they say, okay, we need a senior center, here's what it's gonna cost, and we say, well, what about the air changes and the media required? And oh no, that would be much more. And then you have this.
Just like they did with schools. because I asked what they were doing with all these buildings. They said, we'll figure that out after we build the new school. That's how we work, so after the, you're totally right.
So I'm thinking what it will take is, you have that information about the air exchange. We have the information that Sarah has. So we should probably, my thought is to do like a working session where we can lay out all of these things and present it to Civic Brand or the architects that are going to be involved.
Right, and I think the more tangible you can get, the better. You know, you can say, well, we want the best senior center ever. Okay. It's not going to do anything.
But we'll settle for.
Is the word the best?
Would anybody be willing to work on a subcommittee?
I have a question on the table. Is the word the best? Is the word supposed to be the best? Or here's what we need?
I'm due to get new hearing aids Wednesday.
That's all right. I'm going to talk loud. Is the word the best senior center, or is it here's what we need in a senior center?
Yeah, I agree. Here's what we need, and we ought to do a little bit to demonstrate that. To give the town council
about master plan, and also in that master plan, here's the requirements.
That's the list we need to draw.
That's the list we will draw.
That's a good word.
That's the list we have.
Yes,
That's the list we have.
Same architect. That costs
For-
$2 million more. In a year.
Supposedly, they're supposed to.
That's what they hire.
Talk to the architect like we did the last time, and that's the time we need that.
we need the list.
So we need to make it now.
Yeah,
Right.
So
yeah,
we can't.
Right.
we have to have some kind of this, what I require, what I want. So there has to be a list.
You take notes.
Maybe Jennifer.
Did you hear me?
Your job.
No. It has to be a list that has strong. Because what ends up happening is people make lists. And they're wishy-washy.
No,
Guess what the list is?
no, like I said, the list would be what he was saying about the air exchange, but also we would incorporate the list of things that Sarah brought back from the meeting that she went to. Because we like a lot of things on that list that those architects were doing, and those are some of the things we want to incorporate in our centers. And so that's what we need to do.
I might suggest that Caesar specifically take a look.
Well, he's not a member yet, so you can't do that.
That's right.
I never.
Okay.
Well, that's great. Isn't that good news that you've decided and it's
all right.
going to happen, and that's what it is?
Let's say that's that.
We need a few names for that subcommittee.
Why do we need a subcommittee? I mean, there's only a few of us here. It should be all, I think, my opinion, it should be all of us. All of the commission, everyone should be a part of that.
Why don't we
9
make that?
people is kind of awkward number to actually get things down on paper. So if we had maybe 3 or 4 who would bring it back to this group.
Why? We are the group. I'm getting this process. I'm sorry. We are the group.
Yeah.
This is coming from us. So we don't need another step about a subcommittee bringing stuff back to us.
Right.
We are the group.
Is there a possibility that we could make that a major point on next month's agenda to brainstorm that and generate this list?
We don't need to brainstorm that. We already have we can generate the list.
Generate the list of what we have.
And a list, that's not a list.
We have all the stuff that Sarah did, we have the stuff John just mentioned.
Right.
And
Let's
it's
take
all-
all that stuff and condense it into a list,
Then let's do that.
or a one, whatever you want to call it. Let's
Because
just
one
take what we
item,
have.
one definite item does not make a list. That was my suggestion. Why not bring all that stuff together maybe at next month's meeting, and condense it into one cohesive list that has on it more than one line item.
Okay, I will put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
We're losing time
We couldn't.
to prepare this. Why wait a month? We should start working on it.
Do a subcommittee.
Most of it is already done. Sarah has made a list. Okay, we're gonna incorporate what John just said. Sarah has already made the list. Let's take his list.
Sarah list.
It's in that booklet that.
Yeah, can we get it out? I'll get it.
I can grab it.
Yes,
It's in your room.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in the cabinet.
Can I have it?
There's not, now, when I used it, there wasn't a list. There
No,
was like
we've got to tease
tab.
out, and we have to tease out the things that we want. That's
Right.
That's what
I
we
mean,
have
it's
to
yay
do.
thick.
But I'll look through it.
All right, do a subcommittee. Let's do a subcommittee. All right, I'll be on the subcommittee. Let's do a subcommittee.
And then I will send out the link, for Mansfield Tomorrow, but it's mansfieldtomorrow.org.
Right.
And you know, they say the report writing, is going to be completed by May of 2024. So within the next 3 months, they're saying that all the information that they've been gathering for the past almost year is going to be put together in a report, which I'm sure then will be presented to town council. But if there's a real strong interest in understanding this process, Jennifer Kaufman from Planning and Development should be asked to be a speaker, you know, come in and be a guest next month. She'd be happy to do it. And it is confusing. There's the Northwest Neighborhood Plan, there's a facilities master plan, and there's a park and rec master plan. So people get very confused on what's what, and all for this committee, you know, it's facilities master plan. You want to understand what the process is, you can ask her where it's at. But it's all laid out on that webpage for you all as well.
What's that website again?
MansfieldTomorrow.org.
So, subcommittee. We
Right,
have two
I
people
got
so far,
Martina
Laura,
and Laura.
and you.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to be on the subcommittee?
We're super fun.
We'll look together and decide. I want to be on the committee? Anyone else? Okay, you want to be on.
Yes.
Nancy, you?
I just don't have time. I'm so sorry. I really don't. I wish I could. I'll contribute when I can, but right now, just sort of out straight with work.
Oh my God.
Okay, they have like
Really?
And that's what you also does.
This one. Yeah. In the book.
It's in the book, yeah.
Really, yeah. I don't think she marked actually, but it. So you all can take it. I know you're good for it. You'll return it. It's just samples of different senior centers and
You're wasting your time.
What?
Sarah saved the list.
this one.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. All right.
We'll get together, meet soon.
Yeah, immediately after this, I and Laura will,
And Joanne.
and Joanne will find a time. As new director, can you get us a room when we find out what time?
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
Oh, I know what it was. We wound up meeting over at Juniper Hill, but it was because it was anyway.
I need
Program director? No,
Or
that's
the
not the right
administrator.
name, but anyway, she couldn't leave her duties.
Lauren,
So what she
with Lauren.
Lauren.
Oh,
So we met there. Wasn't because we couldn't find it. Okay, we're all set on that. That pretty well takes care of a few topics for a while. We have no public. Look through things. Yeah. Okay, are there any other items that come up? Any motion to adjourn?
Make one for the adjourn.
that's
10:45.
In favor? Okay, thank you very much.